I suppose you have to be proud of kind of an effort like that, down so many guys. Where does it start for you? What stands out the most?
I would just say our mentality. You can't win in the NBA without stepping on the floor and expecting to win. And I thought our guys had that from the start. And then that just confidence, belief, and truly connectivity in that second half was just awesome to watch. It was just blossoming. And I thought DA and Rui offensively for us were great all night, but Nick Smith in the second half he just took the game over, and we needed his handle and we needed his wiggle tonight, and truthfully it was a perfect game for him. That you play against that team, they're so disruptive. Drew kind of makes up his own rules. They play their small lineup where they switch everything, and so you play a game like that, it turns into, can I beat my man off the dribble, And I thought once our guys stopped trying to just run pick and roll early in the game and just said, no, I'm just going to beat my guy, create the advantage, and then we're going to play from there. And we did that a number of times in the second half.
With Nick Smith, he's on a two-way, and kind of to come through in moments like that, is there any extra that you're kind of also enjoying and watching and rooting for him, or not you're locked into the game, but just the way his teammates are embracing him and kind of the
that's what I mean by the connectivity. We got a good group. I'm excited about this group and what we could potentially be. I'm excited about the group, and his teammates loved it. The bench was awesome tonight. Our huddles were awesome. Just again, expecting to believe, or expecting that we're going to win. I thought our guys had that all night.
There was, after opening night, there was a lot of discussion about we've got to figure out how we're going to play hard the way that we did last year. That was a part of our DNA. It's going to take time. Here you are 7 games later, and it feels pretty much in your team's bloodstream already. How did it happen so quickly?
I would say I've told the team this a number of times throughout the preseason and early in this season, that the best teams are always going to be player-led. And so those guys holding each other to that, that's why I say those huddles, the communication on the court, all those small interactions, they're really valuable. And the guys are holding each other accountable to that. And then as a coaching staff, you have to get buy-in to that, and our guys are bought in. I think we talk about it as a group all the time. You can't win in this league unless you play hard. It's impossible now. And these guys have just been awesome for the last 7 games.
There's a certain amount of offensive sacrifice that just comes into having to play in this league, and the good shots are threes and layups traditionally, but you've got guys on your team Rui Hachimura is a really good mid-range shooter.
He doesn't miss from the mid-range.
DeAndre Ayton's a post-up player sometimes.
Yeah.
It felt tonight all the bad shots were good shots for your group. What was it kind of watching that type of offense?
Yeah, again, you have to look at it's two things. You have to look at, over the course of an 82-game season, what type of shots are you trying to generate? What is the most value? How do you get good shots? How do you create an advantage? And then on a night like tonight, how do we put the ball in the basket? How do we get a shot up? How do we run something that's in the semblance of organization? And the guys just for the last 3 quarters did that at a really high level.
You guys were in a very similar position exactly a week ago. What did you see the biggest difference defensively from your group from last Monday to today?
They got a lot of the same stuff. They 15 offensive rebounds and 26 second chance points. So I guess a little bit better. I thought overall, though, just outside of a few personnel things, Grant, getting to his left hand for an and one in the first half. Abdi is he's a bull, getting to his right hand. And then, but we had some great shifts and some great on-ball stuff where we were really dialed into personnel. That's what we told the group before the game. Like, this is a personnel game. Similar to last night, it's a personnel game. This is not a how do I guard this action game. It's how do I guard my guy. And I thought our for the most part, our attention to detail on that was really high.
DeAndre said last week, when you guys played Sacramento, he was really inspired by what you said pregame when you guys were a little bit shorthanded, and to him, he felt like you guys weren't shorthanded at all. So how do you, whether it's you or maybe the other players, instill that belief that you guys are going to win no matter who you guys have?
Well, it's not an easy thing to do, and it's not something that you just can say and then a guy's going to believe. I mean, it's a really organic thing, and that's why I think the things that we've preached from day one are so important. We recognize we need to be in great shape, but the communication and the habit piece, when the group can do that at a really high level every single night, you can win games when you're without a few players. And maybe the idea that being shorthanded is maybe a little bit of a misnomer. It's just I told the guys before the game, like, we have enough in this locker room to win this game. My belief level in this group that's here in Portland right now, that's in uniform right now, is as high as it's been. Like, I've been around this enough to know when a group is connected, and you still got to go out and play, and you got to go out and play hard, and you got to go out and make shots, and our guys just did all of those things tonight.
Doc's, style of dribbling and getting away from you to get his shot off, and perfected it tonight.
He's crafty.
Yeah.
You watch him play. He's got a herky-jerky game, and he gets to his spot. And for me, he played under control. Sometimes when you get hot, you can come out and take a lot of shots. So I'm hot. Let me try to go for mine. He stayed in rhythm. And I think the best thing was when Marcus Smart took over, it was penetrating, get him easier shots. Because sometimes when you're such a great ball handler like he is, you can try to create and manufacture a shot for yourself. But sometimes it's a lot easier to just sit in the corner and take a shot. And I think Marcus Smart did that.
You're always so excited in these kind of games because I'm always like, oh man, no one's playing tonight. You love it because you always said, I got a lot of sugar back in the days when Shaq and Kobe would play. That was the one thing I'm putting up numbers. Mm-hmm. When I go to an old arena where I played at, where I used to be on that team, or when the stars are out, time to shine. Yeah,
it's always been a comfortable situation. You look it down the line, you say, okay, A is out, B is out. Okay, there's going to be a lot of balls being, especially when you got a team that loves to play with one another. Now, you can sometimes play on a team of guys that he says, I can get mine because I'm on the contract. You think about this guy, he's on a two-way deal. He could have went out and forced the issue, but he didn't. He let the game come in. And it's so much fun and better because you can really see how good players are. Sometimes we don't understand how much of a backseat some players take. You think of what DeAndre Ayton did when he was in Portland. Everybody like, he didn't put up numbers there, because he had all these other guys trying to get numbers. Tonight, when you go into a guy, he can show you his ability, what he do. You look at Rui. Rui did his thing. Everybody had the opportunity to score. So that lets you know there's a lot of talent on that bench the Lakeside doesn't have the opportunity to do it.
Hayden, Rui Hachimura and DeAndre Ayton, they combined for 57 points. They hit 24 out of 34 field goals. Did it from the three-point line as well for Rui, 2 for 4. The rebounds for DeAndre Ayton, 10. I want to talk Ayton big game. Listen,
and 3 blocks.
And 3 blocks.
And 3 blocks. So, he did his job on both ends of the court. He led tonight. Look, we remember him when he was in Phoenix playing well. When he was beside CP3, had an experienced veteran there that knew how to make him play. He gets traded. Didn't work out that well. He's 27 years old, Gator. You don't start peaking. I know Robert peaked when he was like 22, but you don't start peaking until you're like 27 in this league.